Open your mind. Open your mind.
Hey out there, this is Buzz with TheSurvivalBuzz. So it seems like over the past several years, there's been a lot of people making videos out there basically fantasizing that we're going to go to war with another country like Russia or China. And up till this point, most people, myself included, have always said that'll never happen. The U.S. is too strong military-wise, and we're too well respected across the world. But it is a growing concern. It is something that is completely possible at this point. We are being surpassed military-wise, and I try not to get too wrapped up with politics. I don't sway on either side of the fence, basically. I'm just an American that loves my rights. But with this current administration, I can guarantee you we're nothing but a laughingstock across the world. We are not well respected at this point. So I don't know if everybody's seen in the news lately, even mainstream outlets, some of them are reporting this, but Beijing recently launched a hypersonic missile test. Basically went into the upper atmosphere, and the U.S., a lot of military officials were very concerned with this. I've seen some interviews and things with some of them, and you can tell in their voice they're concerned with this and find that this is really an issue that we need to be concerned about. So I did some research on it. I read up on the internet about a lot of things, and I have a few sources here that I wrote down basically to make this video. I'll put links down in the description below, but there are several news outlets and places that you can get this information out there. So this is just where I got it. So the U.S. is now testing Israel's Iron Missile Defense System. They basically used it for terrorism. Now it is on the island of Guam being tested. And for those of you that don't know, Guam is home to 2 U.S. military bases, and it's only roughly 1,800 miles from China. So if something crazy were to happen, this is probably where it would start, and that's probably why they're testing these defense systems there. So with the changing future in technology, basically missiles even now, I mean, everything in the facet of our life is run by AI and algorithms and things, from the military to YouTube. But AI is being used in these hypersonic missile systems and basically collecting information and data. The more testing they do, the more information and data they have. The more data they have, the more it grows and compounds exponentially. It's just constantly learning. The more information you give it, the faster it's learning. So you could see how this would be a concern. Now, over the course of 5 or 6 years, roughly, the U.S. has performed 9 tests with this technology, and China has performed hundreds of these tests. So you can see how with AI, they're collecting way more data than we have over the course of this time. The AI is just constantly learning, so if you're not doing testing, you're not collecting data, the AI is not learning. So this is changing the future of warfare, basically. Things are completely different than they used to be. Missiles and things are not like they used to be. These defense systems we have, you know, they are not designed for these hypersonic missiles. They are not designed to keep up with these things and defend against them. They are designed for short-range missiles, basically, up to like 40 miles. So there's really no way that anyone, I believe, could think that we are even capable of stopping these missiles if we wanted to at this point. And the less and less money we put in these areas of our military, the further and further behind we're getting. China is even surpassing Russia in that aspect. So it's not just us. So there's this guy, Nicholas Challen, I think is how you say his last name. I watched an interview with, and he was the first chief software officer for the Air Force and Space Force. He recently resigned for whatever reason, but he was very concerned with this. He basically said that if the U.S. does not step up its game by December of 2022, it'll be too late. China's AI will have already collected way too much information, and there will be no way that we can even catch up at that point, because, like I said, the more info and data that you give this thing, the more it just compounds and grows and moves faster to the point that you can't catch up with it. This isn't something that we can just go out and spend extra money and have the latest and greatest software or whatever and keep up with these countries, because that's not the case. With AI, it doesn't work like that. They're just compiling all this data, and we are not. So unless we step it up, unless we put, funding into this portion of our military, we're pretty much doomed to fall behind. And so are other countries like Russia. So it's not just us. So along with all the testing that China has done with these missiles, they also have these institutions where they are teaching people about the materials they use to create these missiles. I guess with these hypersonic missiles, they burn so hot, the temperatures are so extreme that you can't just use any material basically to build them. It's mainly ceramics, from what I've read, that they use. So China has these institutions, 7,000 of these institutions basically learning how to use these ceramics to create missiles. Now we have our own institutions here in the United States, but 7,000 dwarfs us. We have 60 of them. So this is a major issue out there. This is a major issue that most people aren't even talking about. Even our own government isn't addressing these issues, at least not in the mainstream. We're too concerned with, who's marrying who, or the latest, greatest iPhone, or whatever the newest video out there is, whatever it may be. Our concerns are not the same over these other countries like China. So unless we step up our game, unless we fund these programs and learn to defend against these missiles that they're creating, I'm not saying they're going to attack us, but the capability is completely there at this point. We are being surpassed in every aspect of life, especially from China. Technology and military is something that they put a lot of money into and a lot of time into, and we're slowly going the other direction with it. So I don't know where I was going with this video today. I basically just wanted to make this for people out there that are unaware of these factors that are going on out there and are unaware of how far behind we actually are military-wise. We are just falling behind. So unless we step it up, we're doomed. We are doomed. All it would take is them deciding they want to launch a missile at us. We wouldn't be able to defend it. Now you compound that with everything else going on in the United States and, well, across the world, but let's say in the United States with food scarcity and supply chains and the economy and growing inflation and people not working and all the other cultural crap going on out there. This is a real issue. So as always, like this video and subscribe if you like what you hear, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.